I remember lying in the bed last January, and I could not move my arm at all. And at that time, I had various people, they didn't want to give me too much hope. And so I didn't know whether I would ever get the usage of it again. But I did have some movement with my leg. It was not much, but I could pull my knee up. And so every day I would see if I could pull it up higher. And I realized by pulling it up maybe 100 times a day, the next day I was getting it a little bit higher. So I said, okay, that's the trick to it, repetition, then your brain remembers it, and then the next day you can go a little bit further. Then one day I saw a finger twitch, and it was after I'd had some electrical stimulation. It got my fingers moving a little bit, and it was like my index finger moved ever so slightly. And then I go, my finger's moving, my finger's moving. I tried to make that happen over and over again. My finger's moving, my finger's moving, my finger's moving. I must have done that 100 times because I was afraid it would stop. Okay? The next day, I could do it like a half an inch farther. And then it seemed like maybe a week later, the middle finger was moving with it. So I could get both fingers. And then the third one came along, and then the ring finger, till I could bend them, open and close. But that happened gradually over months. And it's just when you feel the sensation, repeat it, repeat it, repeat it. And then the next day or in future days, you can do it longer or with more grip or grasp. And then you realize, oh my gosh, it's all repetition. There's nothing magic about this as much as it's just repetition. But you've got to sense the movement and then chase it. Chase it hard. Don't let it go away. And there's something magic that happens when you're asleep at night and you're dreaming about it, and you can see yourself throwing a ball, or you can see your arm, or you're at your high school homecoming and you're trying to raise your number one. This is as far as I can get it. Or you're trying to put your hand over your heart for the national anthem. It's just like, I can do that now. And for a while I couldn't stand up, but to stand up and put your hand over your heart for the national anthem, that was really cool. Or the first time you can use your hand to put food in your mouth, Like I can feed myself again, not with just the left hand. So about the time you get depressed is about the time, if you keep moving, something else happens to keep you happy. Like, oh my gosh, I couldn't write a word, and now I can write a word. It's not pretty, but I can read it. And it's sort of like its own stroke calligraphy, It's sort of pretty in its own stroke way. It's like a weird kind of art